white people and not clean up my own house.
Oh, I already knew, but I already knew better, dude. I already knew better.
But yes, this woman here, and this one, Areena Preston. Remember that name too, because BLM's not saying this name. The wokety woke pro-blacks aren't saying this name, because 4 demons rolled up on this woman and shot her to death. They pulled up on her. GTA 5 style.
They sure did too, man. Opened up fire on her. She fired back, and they killed her dead, and then took all of her shit and left her there.
Well, no. And so the thing that they're not talking about on the conservative side, because Anton Daniels did talk about this. Shout out Anton Daniels, AntonDaniels.com. Shout out the Back Chasers. He did talk about this morning, and the angle that he took on it, he just doesn't know because he didn't live this life. Like, this could have been my mother. This actually almost happened to my mother. And the issue is, this is actually the problem. And this is about to be the problem for most police officers, because our gang enforcement has gotten lax. They don't have gang enforcement units. My mom was the first officer assigned to that unit after something very similar to this happened to her. And the thing that was fucked up was I saw her on that call before what happened, because we all lived in the same area. We actually lived in the community she was policing, not in that exact location where this happened, but it was like we were on the way back from the store and saw her getting out of her squad car to walk into this house where she almost died. Waved and everything. And the thing that they're leaving out is this wasn't just a random shooting, and that's the way that they're framing it. What's going on here is that was a gang initiation, which was why you had to take her stuff. Nobody's talking about that. Back in the 90s, when gangs were real gangs, you had to kill a cop and take their badge to get in, to get put down.
What the fuck?
And so what they would do, this is what they used to do here in Kansas City. Now, in Kansas City, you couldn't just roll up on them like they was the ops and shoot them. Granted, we didn't have as many guns floating around then. It's the 90s. So what they would do is they would make a false call of a domestic abuse charge, because if you do that during that time period, the procedure was the police had to go in and clear the house to make sure that they're not lying. So, like, because you could stop somebody at the door and they're like, "Hey, are you beating your wife?" No. And like, if you don't go check to verify that somebody's not in there that's been beaten, you know what I'm saying? Like, so their procedure was you had to enter the house. So what they would do is they would go to vacant houses and the whole gang would be in there, and they would make the call, and the officer would show up and be like, "Well, I got to check the house." You walk in, now it's you and like 10 niggas.
Damn.
And they would just beat you to death and take your badge. And that's how you got put down. So my mom and her partner were in a scenario like that. And fortunately for them, she called for backup because she identified that the house seemed like it could have been vacant. Like their only mess up was they picked a house that you could tell hadn't been lived in a while. And she noticed that walking in and called for backup. And they fought, her and her partner, who was another female white lady, fucking badass white lady also. My mom's badass too. But they fought them dudes off until their backup showed up.
Hey, what did I tell you, Ray? Did I not say that once it started getting warm out and people that normally get those big income tax returns this time of year don't see those returns? What I tell you was going to start happening?
Well, I mean, I think this is actually worse than that. What's happening when you start seeing shit like this, Snowman, they're militarizing. They're going back to old school. This isn't going to be a bunch of soft motherfuckers. You're going to be dealing with people that function like MS-13 gang members that are Americans. They're going to be functioning like animals. And if there's nothing in place to separate us from them, to have that actual barrier, to allow these cops to do what they need to do to dismantle that shit, a bunch of officers are going to die. And not only that, these officers are weaker than the officers when my mom was a cop. These people are growing up. She was 24 years old. You know how many 24-year-olds have been in an actual fight? Have been in an actual situation. 100%. So now you've got them dealing with a gang element that's going, oh, we're going back to old school ways. Like, I don't know what set those 4 dudes are from, but they need to go wipe all of them off the planet immediately. Like, they shouldn't have arrested those men.
Nope.
They should have put them down. They're animals. We do not need people of that nature. If they're not trying to go over and tear stuff up overseas or shoot some enemies or go down to the border and stop the cartel from bringing fentanyl up in this bitch, they have no use in this society at this point. Like, we can't keep people like that around. Like, we can't do it. Like, there's no, and I mean, I understand it sounds harsh.
Like lame animals, dude.
100%. Like, they're a toxic element, and at this point, with what's going on in this country, we got to start carving out the cancer. We have to carve it out. This woman was serving her community. They said that they wanted officers that look like them. What'd they do? They rolled up and put bullets in her.
And she was real pretty too.
She was pretty as hell, dude. Gorgeous.
And if this is how these dudes are functioning, and like the issue is they need to figure out where they came from and trace that whole thing back, because that's going to be an issue. Because if all the gangs in Chicago start doing that's going to turn into Gotham real quick.
Yep.
If they start rolling up on cops,
Gotham's already here, sir. So I'm afraid to tell you.
Well, I mean, this is as Gotham as I understand Gotham's already there, but like, if you're rolling up on the element that's supposed to be instilling justice, like, now you've got scared officers who can't defend themselves appropriately. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're sending these people into gunfights. I mean, in the 90s, they could at least get these motherfuckers up out of here.
Yeah, now you can't do anything because 100%. You got to worry about the PR that comes behind it.
And what's it 100? Oh, hold on. I'm gonna add it again. Media said talk, no results. 100%. And y'all keep electing people out there that go in that want to let these guys out. They want these dudes on the street. T96. The border is a mess. It is a mess. 100%. But this is the issue. Like, we have this dichotomy where just because we're going to call out these monsters, that people think I'm not going to talk about the racist monsters as well. Like, no, those are monsters too. We need to get them all up out of here. Personally, I think we should put them on one of those failed Tesla rockets and send them up and use them for fuel, or see how long it takes for them to fall back down, bro.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to make you feel like I was putting you on blast or anything. Like
no.
Not after that great conversation we had earlier today, man.
I'm 100% fine with you guys putting me on blast or checking me, but like, the issue is we need to have proper context. Like, you can't just be a black conservative and not call out all the bullshit. You can't just sit here and talk about the messed up stuff that black people are doing and then not want to talk about Rasheem Carter and be afraid to say his name and be afraid to talk about what happened to that man, because that was equally messed up.
Ray, if I may, because you and I have talked about this ad nauseum now.
Yeah.
About black conservatives. All right. And have I not addressed this and said that, in my opinion, and this is my opinion from an outsider looking in, all right, that black conservatives are no different really than black liberals, because with black liberals, it's all or nothing with the liberal party. And if you look at black conservatives, they carry that same mantra over to the conservative party. It's all or nothing. Yeah. You know, the conservative party can do no wrong. You know, that there needs to be a little bit more open-sightedness about what's going on here with these parties. If you're going to switch from one party to the other, and realize that it doesn't have to be all or nothing, you know.
Yeah.
Hold
on. Add it again, media. Oh, okay. I got you. No, that's fair. That's fair. But the thing is this. Me personally, as a person, I do have the results. I'm not trying to save every black person, because I know all of you ain't gonna make it. So that, like, let's get that straight first. I mean, I understand that you're new to me, but like, I ain't trying to save y'all. That's the first.
I stopped trying to save people years ago. Dude. It's a few.
Now, if you want to talk about results, I own a business. I'm part owner of a business. I own my house. I own my car. I don't have debt. I don't have a bunch of baby mamas running around. I've been in a successful relationship for 2 years. Like, I don't know what you want me to do as a person besides be the example of not that fuck shit. That's what I'm focused on. I meet with politicians. I'm politically active where I live. 100%.
Add it again, media.
I'm doing what I need to do as a citizen. Like, I'm not going to clean your house up for you, and I'm not going to expose myself to these knuckleheads so that they can kill me, just like they did this fine woman who was trying to help them.
Well, if I may, real quick, she made the comment, "No parties included take care of the problem," and see, that's where the biggest issue.
Okay, I feel you.
Well,
Okay.
Well, hold on, I'm gonna push back on that because that's where the issue lies.
What do you mean?
Entirely too many people in America expecting the government or a party to fix problems.
No. What you're reading that wrong, Snowman. You're reading that wrong. She's saying no parties included. She's saying that community should have never got to the cops.
Oh my!
And
okay,
I agree with her.
My bad.
I'm 100% with that.
My reading comprehension failed me on that one.
I was like, don't worry. At it again. I got you. I see you in there typing. I got you. I felt that. Like, I see her. So no. Now that I do respect, like, that community should have handled that problem. But like but this is the thing. That community has been watching that problem. That community has been sitting, like, that's the thing. It's like we will have these young lions running around. They'll go join a gang and they'll go shoot the block up, kill their neighbors, destroy their neighborhood, kill the property values, and make nothing out of it. Talk about they're getting to the bag and nothing comes of it. And then the people that are around them just watch this. They watch it happen. Now, back in the day, most of those gangs, specifically if it was their territory, took care of their area. They only mess with you if you weren't from within that area. We're not even doing that anymore. Normally, there was some kind of understanding between those gangs and the police force, specifically after they had the task enforcement unit created, where they were like, we know where the line is because they'll bust all of our houses in and arrest the house. I ain't trying to get my moms beat up and locked up. And the reality of it is, we might need to go back to some very Kurdish world star hip hop arrests where they just whip the whole house's ass and take you all to jail so that you start telling on these motherfuckers instead of letting them run around till they get so brazen that they think they can roll up on the police like they're in GTA 5. This is crazy. Like, I hate to say it, but like, this is the reason that I can't live in the hood no more, because I would end up being a serial killer or something, because I'm not going to sit and watch this. But the problem is, within these areas, everyone's hand to mouth. It's dog eat dog. Like, people are just trying to get through their day. Where does the extra energy come from? Because poor people work just as hard, if not harder, than rich people. Y'all are just tired.
You said that this morning on your drop.
100%. They work y'all work just as hard. These knuckleheads are working just as hard as any rich person to do illegal stuff and just can't focus that creativity or that energy towards something productive so that they can get out of that situation. Or if collectively they were focused and walking in alignment and we had some sort of semblance of a standard of a culture for them to align themselves with, they could fix their areas. And that's something that we're not talking about either. These people are working. That woman was working hard when she got killed. The idiots that killed her, them demons that killed her, were working hard when they was doing what they was doing too, because that was intentional. They thought that up. Them some little soldiers. Y'all don't want them back out on the streets. And what did they do? They locked these idiots up so that they can get strong. They just gonna be eating peanut butter and working out in jail. You gonna have them super predators that Hillary Clinton was talking about come right back out on these streets, stronger than they was before and just as fucking stupid.
The thing is, the super predators that Hillary Clinton was actually talking about was her and her crew.
That's a fact.
Right.
She was
like
in-house.
It's crazy to me. And like, when I see stuff like this, like, that's somebody's that her mother spoke on this. Like, that's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's sister. But again, we've had this conversation ad nauseum too, Snowman. The reason they was able to do that so brazenly was because she looked like them. They don't value black people. So technically speaking, they're in the same camp as them white boys because they don't value black people either.
Right.
Like
how can you value, like you said before, you can't value human life if you refer to them as a ninja.
Facts. And if we're gonna really kick the bricks, I think they would have done the same shit that got done to Rasheem Carter to her if them motherfuckers knew where the woods were.
Probably.
Like if they could have navigated their way to some forest, they would have done the same shit to her. We would have been reading this story. It would have been woman parts all over the woods, except for them motherfuckers is too dumb to know where the forest is.
Or they're too scared to go in the woods. You know, weird shit happens in the woods after dark, dude.
Hold on. Bomb Cherry, how can they fix their areas? It's against the law for us to police our own community.
No, it's not. Citizens arrest is always and has been and always will be a legal thing for a private citizen to do. We have the right to police and arrest citizens when they break crimes.
Well, my deal is this. My deal is this. If your life's in danger, just kill them. Look, I'm sorry. I ain't trying to police the neighborhood, bro. If you got a problem like these little demons running around, Cherry, you need to just get them on up out of there and be like, I thought my life was in danger.
Well, look,
that's what needs to happen.
The thing is I was saying earlier when they were trying to defund the police movement, you don't want people like me out policing my neighborhood, because people like me out policing my neighborhood, I'm not going to ask questions. I'm going to shoot first and ask questions later. That's how that's going to go down. There's not going to be no diplomacy about it.
I actually have a couple homies that have killed people legally, and I'm talking about literally like killed them and wait for the police to come there, and we're home for dinner. For dinner. I'm dead serious. That's only in places where they have self-defense, right? They don't have no self-defense where I'm at now. That's why I got jammed over here.
Yep.
But my boy, man, we used to drop him off at the bus stop because he worked at third shift late at night, and I'm talking about Ground Zero in North Philly. We dropped him off. We always sit in the car and wait till the bus comes to see him off and shit, right?
Right.
We're sitting in the car. Some nigga rolls up on us with a chopper. My boy, waiting to go to work, hits him up. Sat right there, waited for the police. All of us. We were out of the police station in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours we were gone and on with our lives.
Well, one thing that people don't seem to really understand is that the only reason police have the authority to carry a gun, arrest anybody, any of that shit, is because that's actually your duty as a citizen.
Yep.
Citizen does not mean somebody to be ruled. Citizen actually means co-ruler. And as a co-ruler, it's your responsibility to police shit. The reason that we have now police departments is because once the bankers took over our country, they made it to where you had to work 40 hours a week and you didn't have time to take care of your duties. So what they did is they said, hey, why don't you be a citizen for all of us? Take care of those duties. We'll pay you for that so that you don't have to go out and work while we're out working. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong on this, right? In certain places, in some situations, you can be charged with a crime if someone you're with commits a crime and you don't stop them.
Yes, that's called an accessory or complicit.
Bro, hold on. So Cherry, of course, like the criminals you're speaking about. So, I mean, this is just me personally. Like, I'm not on papers of any kind.
Neither am I.
And I got people walking around with whole scars down their faces from slamming their heads in doors. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, all I know is this. There is a certain level of person that you have to be to secure yourself. And the reality of it is, this is the reason that people who are successful move away from the hood. Because if you're not going to be in a position to where we can protect ourselves, then the next level of protection is putting a pay barrier. Now, if your broke ass shows up at my townhome to come mess with me, I'm just going to kill you here. like it's just what it is. And you're going to be so out of place that they're going to know. I'm just going to be like, I fear for my life. This idiot came over here trying to do something. And I'm like, I might not be in the hood, but I ain't that far removed.
Well, I'll tell you this. When I had that home invasion, Ray, I had the sheriffs tell me that if that ever happened again, that it would actually save them paperwork if I shot and killed them.
That depends on where you are, because lately white people that have been defending themselves been going to jail.
Yeah, but if you're in your home and they are in through the threshold of that door, basically anywhere, there's no place where they're like, you got to just die inside your house.
Well, you can't. No, because you can't shoot them in the back, dude. If you shoot them in the back, then you're shooting a fleeing individual that's trying to get away, and that they will put you in prison for that.
Those rules are different in every state.
Yeah.
Well, they are different in every state. Like in Indiana has the castle law. It doesn't matter what you do. You step on my property outside. As soon as you cross the threshold of my property line, if you do something that I think is going to be detrimental to my life or my safety, I have the right to kill you.
That's the same in Missouri.
Yeah.
They got to be on your property.
So the way that my mom always told me was threshold of the door. She was like, if you get into it with somebody at the door and something happens and you do what you got to do, she's like, pull them through the threshold. Do not leave them on the porch.
Hey, that sheriff did tell me that if they fell outside to make sure I drug their asses right back in the house.
Yep. She said, pull them through the threshold. And she was like, whatever you do to them, they need to be on this side of the door.
And it doesn't matter if they have a toothpick in their hand. A toothpick can be considered a deadly weapon.
You could have a fucking sponge in your hand. I'm done.
Dude, you could have a butter knife.
Bruh. Like, my thing is
flowers.
My deal is this, and this is the way it's going to circle back for me at all times. We have to divest ourselves and cut out the cancer. And I'm on some Malcolm X about it by any means necessary, bro. Whatever we got to do is what we got to do. Because at this point, it's out of hand. People are crazy. And it's Snowman, you're 100% right. Once it got warm and them stimmy checks didn't come, it's getting worse.
It is, dude.
But the thing that I'll tell you is you do not want militarized, because see, this is what's going to happen. If they get back like how they were in the 90s with the information that we have now, because it ain't the same people. And like the people in the 90s weren't. Yes, Bomb Cherry.
Yes. If somebody comes in my house and they were invited, just kill them. Absolutely. 100%. I'm done playing games. With
100% in that camp.
You don't come in and invade my home and my privacy without my permission and think that you're going to leave any other way than in a body bag.
Facts. Yeah. No, we're not. This is the thing, Cherry. Because I've heard you on panels and like I kind of get it, but I don't. And I don't get it in the sense that like if you care about these people and the cancer is what's killing our people, then we need it gone by any means necessary.
And no,
I'm going to bring this woman back up here.
I won't.
Cherry, this could be your daughter. Like, hold on. Whoa. This could be your daughter. This could be your sister. This could be your aunt. This woman had a trajectory. She had a future. She was not a piece of shit. And 4 pieces of shit that will never add up to the worth of this woman ever. In their lives. Killed her. For nothing. They shouldn't exist. They shouldn't be here. If you have that mindset, you are useless to us as a people. You are a threat. You are a liability. You are actually worse than the racist white dudes because there's less of them. There are less of them than those 4 idiot demons that killed this woman. You want to sit here and act like the white man's our problem? That's not our problem. Them 4 demons and the demons that spawn those demons are our problem.
And people that are making excuses for why this shit should be allowed are the problem.
And then this woman who died at the hands of these monsters, her mother had to go on national TV and talk about how she felt sorry for them and their families. Them and their families shouldn't exist.
Hey, real
and I'm
quick,
gonna say it again. Hold on. Those bloodlines need to be removed.
The free zone. Step on my property. It's 808s and heartbreaks.
Facts. Go ahead, Jay.
I just looked it up for Delaware. Delaware, you can defend your house, but outside the house, you do have to try to flee.
I know in some states they have an equal force law too, where you can't go you can't
go any more than what
they give you. Right.
No, 100%. So see, Bomb Cherry, we are on the same page. I'm just saying, like, we're like at this point, man, if I came home and there was a random homeless person in my house, bro, I'm gonna have to get them up out of here. I'm sorry. Like, I don't have enough time to assess the situation. I'm going to do what I was trained to do to them all over this house.
Well, look, like Sage said, you give up the right to life once you cross the threshold of someone's home.
Right. Hold on. Sage Highway. Black women cuddle the worst of black people. Give them a chance to do what? Kill, still, and fuck out of here. I'm with you, Sage. I'm not gonna necessarily it's not all black women, but the ones that are fostering this shit, the ones that are contributing to creating these demons, we got to get them up out of here too. I'm pretty sure, I could have sworn it was Farrakhan who said that, like, if black people are going to move forward, not everybody going to get to come, and we're going to have to cut the heads off of some people. And I'm pretty sure he was talking about the people who didn't agree with him. But like, now that I think about it,
well, like Umar said,
think these demons might be the ones he was talking about.
Well, like Umar said, you can't get through all these young kids, man. And some of these motherfuckers are going to have to get put to sleep for good.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we can't continue down this road as a society. Like, we can't continue to dishevel and blame everything on the white boogeyman. You've got people like me that exist that will talk to you, that's giving you game every week, 2 videos a week, and
good
alive.
Game, good game. I'm telling you, good game.
I'm out here rocking out with everybody. And I'm telling you that the game that y'all are trying to play with this race shit is not what it is. Like, it's not what it is.
We're over it at this point.
Yeah.
You know what, Ray? Listen.
What's up, Reese?
We've covered what the white man did extensively. I'll account for the half of a century that I've been here. I've covered it myself. We've covered it extensively. Everybody knows, dude. Remember those knowledge DVDs? I sold thousands of them to everyone in my neighborhood. Everybody knows what happened. Everybody knows. But now, right, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to do something. You got to do something for yourselves. There has to be a change, dog. What happened to us, you can't reverse it. We don't have a time machine. Can't go back and undo it.
Well, I mean, based on Jay Prince's logic, since it didn't happen to us, we can't even believe it happened. Like, that's the reason I don't understand how you can be in the Victim Olympics and simultaneously not believe anything but what you say. Like,
yo, this mentality will make people not work.
Yeah,
it'll make people not work.
That's what they're wanting to do. That's what they're wanting to do. They're wanting people to be. It's a state of learned helplessness. They want you to be helpless. They want you to need them. The issue is when you go through and you destabilize men, and I'm not blaming this on single mothers, but what I'm saying is there is a specific attack on men right now. The fact that there was a woman, hold on, wait a second, not a woman, Areena Preston, the fact that Areena Preston had to get gunned down by these 4 demons, that should have been a man out there. Why is it that we got to have the black women come catch the bullets? They got to go hug the criminal. They got to go fix the community. But that should have been a man. That's a man's job. What's going on, Georgia? How you doing? Salutes to Georgia.
Salute to Miss Georgia Swan and Miss Kelly Ray for coming.
But that's a man's job. Why does she have to go out there and die a horrible death like that was meant for one of us? Why? This is the issue. We have destabilized the men. Now the men are running around like demons, and black women got to go clean that up now too.
If there was anything that should have been in March for, it's this here.
Facts.
Look at that chick, man.
I mean, And she's not ugly. Like, what the hell are we doing, bro?
No, for real, she is absolutely gorgeous.
Why you not trying to bag her instead of killing her? You know what I mean?
Right. And so like, this is the issue, though. As a society collapses, if this is the last line of defense, it's over because they ain't built to win that battle. So, like, if everybody goes roguish, this is done. Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point,
Lou says, if your life doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter to me.
Facts.
I know some pretty foul niggas, man, that probably would have backed out of this one here. Well, they probably would have looked at her and be like, "No, we can't, nah."
And I'm gonna have to check the restream because I know Bumpkin's talking shit on Andrew Tate right now. But I mean, if we don't get some more Tates in this world, or some people who at least semi believe that shit,
what's his problem with Tate?
Hold on, let me see what he's saying. Like, I don't know exactly, but like, I know that he had a thing on it that was talking about that. So hold on, let me pull the page up and let's see what
just real quick while you're doing that, I just want to address everybody that's on my channel that's been asking about, you know, where I've been and asking if the mosh pit's going to be going up. Like I was discussing with Ray today. Yes, the mosh pit will be back soon. Yes, I'm planning on streaming again. It's just last month at the end of the month was me and my wife's anniversary. Then it was my daughter's birthday the beginning of this week. Then it's my wife's birthday at the end of this week. Then it's Mother's Day at the end of this week. So this 3 weeks is actually a really busy week in the old snowman household. You know, trying to get all these things taken care of, you know, on top of trying to finish up the homestead, you know, and get my garden and stuff going. So, but yes, we will be back, and the mosh pit will be firing up here soon, probably this weekend. We'll do a mosh pit stream.
Yes, sir. Okay, so it's not until the 13th, which is Thursday. It's Saturday. At apparent 7 p.m., which they always schedule the stuff where I would come and destroy them on days that I can't make it. But whatever. I digress. But the name of it is The Warpath: The Narcissism and Stupidity of Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate's a freaking man's man. He's a hero. We need, like you said, we need more Andrew Tates out there that aren't afraid to stand in their square and speak truth the way it needs to be spoken.
Bruh. Dude, and so like I like Bumpkin. I do like him.
I do too.
He's a hard sell. He's young, so I give him grace because he's young. But when we were over on CT's channel, CT tried to bait me into. He specifically, I knew what he was doing, but he was specifically over there trying to. What's going on? He was specifically over there trying to bait me into like being horribly insulting to Bumpkin. And I was like, I'm not gonna, because like he was talking about how. I guess Bumpkin was on Fight Club and there was some stuff said about black people and monkeys and white people and monkeys. And I was like, I'm not going to get into that conversation. And I told him straight up, I was like, if you want me to hurt his feelings, I'll hurt his feelings on some real shit. I was like, he's not in as good a shape as me. He couldn't beat me up. And he was like, you know, and so Bumpkin like slipped in. He was like, oh, I got a 9. I don't get into fights. And I was like, bitch, I grew up with SWAT, nigga. Like, you're not going to outshoot me either. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I'm actually trained to shoot people. Like, part of my upbringing, I spent all my time at the firing range. I used to have collections as a child of like big old. You remember those big Jif jars when you could get like the industrial size Jif jars?
Oh Jesus, yeah.
So I used to sit out at the firing range because like I used to have to go there with my
shells.
mom. Yeah, yes, the spit
Like
shells. I would.
Yep, and I'd keep them, and like I had them all over my room, and like people would come over, and they'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "What?" And like I would just sit down there, and it's like you're around firearms training and explosives because like they would let me blow up all the confiscated fireworks. And so it's like I'm like, dude, like
I love blowing up fireworks.
The issue is you should be an able-bodied man. You should be as productive in society as possible. You should be able to navigate society. And like, while I agree with him on a lot of his points about things that we could do better as a society, 100% agree with him. That doesn't mean you have an excuse to suck at this society. Like in the game that you're playing, like if you want to play Monopoly But like you're getting your ass waxed at chess, and like they're like, hey, we got to finish this game before we can go to that game. You don't just get to stop in the middle of getting your ass handed to you and be like, cool, we're just gonna play Monopoly now because like I feel better about that. Like that's just not how that works.
Man, you went from Monopoly to chess, and you skipped checkers, Chinese checkers,
like no, that's
stuff.
Because that's
Backgammon.
his line of thought. And like I'm not saying that he's wrong, and I'm not saying that that's not possible, but like you have to be able to survive to get there to the promised land. B, you got to be able to navigate where you're at. Like if you're homeless talking about how socialism's so great, you're losing at the current game though. Like that your life is just miserable. And hey bro, if you I'm dropping the link, dude. Like this isn't a closed conversation.
This is over on my channel.
You drop it on your page.
I'm dropping your StreamYard link on my
drop the StreamYard. Like I don't think it's a bad take at all. I don't, because he talks condescendingly to everyone that he talks to, which is a thing of 23. Like when I was 23, I talked condescendingly too, and we used to always get into fights. Jeremy was there for some of them. like I mean, I understand that like a lot of people talk shit on the internet, but like Jeremy's known me since I was probably about 16, 17.
God,
he knows how shit.
Sorry for you having to deal with that ugly motherfucker that long.
No, Jeremy's not bad. He's solid, bro. I mean, if I was going to get into a fight, there's nobody else that I want to be around, honestly.
I agree with that, dude, but how do you look at that dog meat face every day of your life for the last 30 years?
What? Put my picture big.
Hold on, I got you, bro. He said, put my picture big.
Come
on.
Side by side me with Snowman.
Oh
my God. Dude, my beard is glorious. You don't want to do that.
Hold up. Hold up. I'm moving Snowman up.
Come on now.
No, man, you see sophistication in that.
No, but that's the thing. And I'm like, okay, so like we're going to attack the men that are telling men to do push-ups, make as much money as they can so that they can navigate how they want. I don't think you should have money for the fuck of having money. The system that we live in, we use money. What's going on, Murda?
What's up,
Murda's in the building. It's officially a show. It's not about specifically having money. Oh, Dr. Nakumbe. Hey, bro. I already liked your stream, Doctor. What's going on? The good doctors in the building. I always appreciate him. So, funny story. So, I was on a panel with Dr. Nakumbe earlier this week, and he is hilarious. Like the only other panel experience that I'd had with him was on a Sunday panel, but he came in on the tail end of the conversation. It was very serious. Dr. Nakumbe is freaking hilarious. And he actually reminds me of a clinician that I used to work with when I was working in mental health. That he was like my favorite person at the office because he was also very hilarious, but it wasn't over the top funny. It was like, it's a subtle slide in, and he waits for you to get it. And I really do like it. Like he had me cracking up yesterday. So Dr. Nakumbe, you're my peoples, like officially. So definitely thank you for swinging through, man. I hope you guys had a good show. Cause like you guys were going, cause unfortunately I can't ever come over to his show cause he's also on Thursdays. It kind of sucks. But there's good shows every day, and obviously if I'm going to stream, I'm going to just miss one of them, and unfortunately it's his. But what I'm saying is I don't think you should have money just to have money. Like I think that's stupid. I don't think you should have money and flex supercars unless you're actually into supercars. If you're into cars, that's dope. But like you should have money because money is the ability to navigate. It's a tool. You can't do what you want if you're broke. If stuff gets bad here, I can go book a flight to somewhere where it's not bad and I ain't got to deal with it. You can't do that. So now you out here fighting people with blue hairs and pink hairs and the they, them rebellion and the day of reckoning and whatever the hell's happening. I'm going to be on a beach because I have the ability to do that. And like, I don't have a supercar. Like, I'm not sitting here flexing. Like I rock my homies' clothing companies like Chibazoid, shout out 1312. Everybody should get one. But I'm not sitting here wearing Gucci belts and shit. I don't care about that. I'm saying you shouldn't be broke because unfortunately the game that we're in revolves around money. Money is your ability to move and navigate. You should be able to do what you need to do when you want to do it and how you want to do it. And actually, hold up a second. We going into monologue time since we rolling in here. Hold on. So anyways, the show title. That comes from when I first got into crypto 10 years ago, when a bunch of broke, dumb, non-perspicacious people, shout out to Andrew Tate, perspicacious. That's where I got that word from. A bunch of broke, non-perspicacious people when I was getting into crypto and telling everybody how great Bitcoin was. And like, hey, like maybe you should check this out. Oh, that's stupid. It's never going to be anything. You're wasting your money. You're dumb. In the crypto space, we had a saying that we came up with because all of us who were very getting into it, we wanted to talk to people about it, have the conversation, be like, hey, something you might want to do with your money. We all got shut down immediately. All of us. And so we came up with a slogan. It's called "Have fun staying poor." And that's the way I feel about it. Like, it's like, cool. You got people who are trying to give you the game, who are trying to show you what's going on the way up. Like, I'm not talking to you from the mountaintop. I'm talking to you as somebody who's making financial moves and testing stuff with my money. I am not sitting here berating you guys. Like, I'm going to work. I work 60 hours a week, sometimes 70. Like, I'm working hard. And then people are going to sit here and have pushback for me when you don't have any results. Not a single one. Have fun staying poor, bro. Like, I hope you like it. But the deal is this. Regardless of what system we end up in, if you're a loser, you're going to be a loser. There's always been a peasant class, regardless of what systems were implemented. There's no system on this planet where people who suck just suddenly didn't suck anymore. You're still going to suck. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, you're at the bottom of this system for a reason. No one put you there. Bumpkin specifically, he's white. This is the game he's supposed to win at. How am I beating you? It doesn't make sense. Like, that shit does not make sense to me. But we are in competition, and people do not want to acknowledge that. They do not want to compete. They do not want to be the best versions of themselves. And the reason I say that I like Bumpkin is because while he's not the best version of himself, I can see it. I can see where he could be. And I'm going to continually push and prod and poke his ass until he gets there or gets close to it. And I'll be the one person he doesn't fucking like that's constantly pushing him forward. And hopefully one day when he's successful, he'll be like, well, fuck, Ray was on my neck and fucking actually gave a fuck about me as a man and wanted me to be the best version of myself so that he could compete with me. Because I don't want to beat you while you're crying. I will, but I don't want to. I want you at your best, and I want to beat you there. And I want to be at my best. That's what I think. And whatever system we go to, it's not like you're just going to remove people that are just harder workers, that are doing more work than you, that are putting in more work than you, that take care of themselves better than you. We're not going away. We're going to win at that too. And then you're just going to be pissed in that system. Like, we've got to get to a point to where these men start acting like men again. And people just start acknowledging the reality of what we're in. What's going on, Feminine Melanin University? Shout outs to Jada in the building. And yes, I am cussing up a storm. I'm just now doing my intro monologue.
You ain't never getting monetized.
Bro, I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And look, as long as I'm not cussing all the time, I think I'll be good. I'll be good to get monetized eventually. But
Casey, send me a